3 weeks after she buried her husband, a 71-year-old widow named Eleanor walked into the same bank she and Frank had used for 30 years to pay the funeral home, and the teller told her the account was frozen, it had to go through probate, come back with court papers. Before we go, one sentence further, if you want clear, no-nonsense guidance on senior money and protecting what's yours, subscribe. That's it. It genuinely helps me keep making these for you. Now, Frank's own money. His name printed right there on the statement. Locked behind a courthouse door for months. He did nothing wrong. Eleanor did nothing wrong. They saved carefully, they paid their bills, they trusted the bank on the corner. And on the worst week of her life, that same bank slid a piece of paper across the counter and said, essentially, you can't have it yet. Here's the part that should make you sit up. Nobody whose job it is to hold that money will ever call and tell you how to keep this from happening. The bank won't. The county won't. No one is going to phone your kitchen and say, hey, there's a free form that fixes this, sign it now. Because there is one. That's this whole video. One free bank form, one signature. And that signature lets the money in your account skip probate entirely. No court, no lawyer, no year of waiting. My name is Walter Hayes. For more than 15 years, I've read the fine print of these rules for ordinary families. The forms nobody mails you, the boxes nobody checks, the deadlines nobody announces. I'm not selling anything. I don't work for the bank. I just read the rules so you don't have to. So let me tell you what's coming. Then let me clear up the biggest myth. Because that myth is exactly how good people get scared away from their own money. Here's the plan. I'm going to show you exactly how one signature makes money leap over a courthouse. I'm going to give you the exact words to say at the teller window word for word so you don't have to guess. I'll tell you who this helps most. I'll warn you about the one scam that shadows this exact move, the phone call you must hang up on. And I'll leave you with a simple plan for the week. The easiest, most valuable move is the one form I'll hand you the exact words for. It's free, it takes minutes. If you do one thing after this video, it's that. Stay with me for that. And let me kill something right now, because I know what some of you are thinking. This is only for rich folks with big estates. Or, on the other side, this is only for poor folks scraping by. Wrong on both counts. This helps the widow with one small checking account exactly as much as it helps the family with a large estate. Not only for the rich, not only for the poor. If you have one bank account with your name on it, this is for you. Do not count yourself out at your own kitchen table, okay? The myth. Here's what stops most people from ever doing this. They think adding somebody to their account means giving that person their money right now, today, while they're still alive. They picture a son or a daughter suddenly able to walk in and drain the account, so they don't do it. They leave the form in the drawer, and they leave their family exposed. Let me be very clear, because this is the whole reason people talk themselves out of it. The form I'm talking about does not give anyone access while you are alive. Not a dime. Not $1. They cannot touch your account today, tomorrow, or 10 years from now. As long as you're breathing, you stay in full control. It stays your money. You can spend every cent of it. You can change your mind and pick a different person next month. You can close the account entirely. The person you name has no say and no access while you're living. It only takes effect the day you die. That's it. That's the honest version. Not while you're alive, only after. Read that again if you need to, because that one misunderstanding costs families more than anything else I see. And this form has a name. It's called a POD, Payable on Death. That's all it means. Payable to the person you choose on the day you pass. 4 letters that could have saved Eleanor a year of her life and a chunk of Frank's money. 4 letters her bank never once mentioned in 30 years of her walking through those doors. Think about that for a second. 30 years. Every birthday deposit, every social security check, every mortgage payment ran through that branch. Not once did anyone slide the Payable on Death form across the counter and say, Frank, Eleanor, you two should sign this, it'll keep your money out of court. The intention of the system isn't evil. The bank isn't the villain here. But the system is simply not built to walk over and tell you, the form sits in a drawer, it waits for you to ask for it by name, and almost nobody knows the name. That's the gap that broke Eleanor's week. Being legally entitled to leave your money to your family and actually having it land in their hands without a courthouse in the way, those are 2 completely different things. One free signature stands between them. So picture where she's standing. Funeral invoice in one hand, the bank statement with Frank's name on it just out of reach on the other side of the glass, a teller who's just doing her job, telling her to hire a lawyer and wait, money with his name on it, locked behind a courthouse door, on the week she could least afford to wait for anything. I'll tell you later exactly what that missing form cost her, the real number in months and in dollars. It's worse than you'd guess. Hold on to that. But first you need to understand the mechanism, because it sounds almost too simple to be real. So how does one signature let money leap over a courthouse? No judge, no lawyer, no waiting. That's the mechanism. And it has a cousin most people have never heard of, one that covers not just your checking account, but your investments, your house, even your car. Here's the mechanism, and it's almost boringly simple. You walk into your bank, you add a name to your checking or savings account, a beneficiary, someone you choose. That's it. You keep spending your money, paying your bills, living your life, and the day you pass away, that money doesn't stop at a courthouse. It doesn't wait for a judge. It goes straight to the person whose name you put on that account. No probate, no lawyer standing between them and the cash. No calendar flipping through month after month while your family waits. That's what Payable on Death does. One line on a form, one signature, the money leaps the courthouse, and it has a cousin. The cousin is called TOD, Transfer on Death. Say it out loud once, because most people have never heard the term in their life. TOD does the exact same trick, but for the accounts a bank teller can't help you with. Your brokerage account, your investments. That stack of mutual funds you've been quietly building for years, you add a transfer on death beneficiary, and those accounts skip probate the same clean way. And it doesn't stop at money on paper. In many states, you can put a Todd deed on your house so the home passes to your child without a courtroom. In many states, you can even do Todd titling on your car so the title moves without a fight. Your investments, your house, your car, all of it, able to skip the line. So why is this the first you're hearing of it? Here's the trap. The bank almost never mentions it. Nobody at the teller window leans over and says, "Hey, before you go, would you like to keep this account out of probate?" The form exists, it's real, it's free, and it sits in a drawer. It sits in a drawer until you know to ask for it by name, and that's exactly the problem. Because being legally entitled to something and actually getting it are two completely different things. The law lets you do this. The system just isn't built to walk over and tell you. And the cost of not knowing? Let me show you what probate actually does to a family. In most states, probate runs several months to over a year. Picture a calendar on the wall, and picture the pages tearing off, one after another, while your daughter can't touch a dime of the money you left her. That's not a punishment. That's just the process, grinding at its own slow speed. And it isn't free. Lawyer and court fees commonly eat 3 to 7% of the whole estate. Now, 3 to 7% might sound small. It's not. Let me translate it. Take a modest estate. $80,000? That's not the rich family with the beach house. That's a paid-off life, a savings account, maybe a small policy. 3 to 7% of $80,000 is thousands of dollars gone. Not spent on your grandkids, not spent on the funeral. Gone to a process. 3 to 7% of everything you saved. Read that again. That is money with your name on it. Gone to a process, not a person. And on top of the money, add the time. A year your family can't reach the cash. A year of bills they cover out of their own pockets while your money sits locked behind a courthouse door. That's the price of a form nobody handed you. Now, I want to stop you before you talk yourself out of this. Because right now, one of two thoughts is running through your head. Either you're thinking, well, I've only got one checking account. This is for people with real estates. Or you're thinking, I've got a decent amount saved. This is for folks scraping by. Both of those are wrong, and both of them cost families every single day. This helps the widow with one account exactly as much as the family with a big one. If you rent, it protects the money in the bank. If you own, the TOD deed protects the house. Low income, comfortable, in between, it does not matter. If your name is on an account, you can put a beneficiary on it. Everybody with a named account is invited. Do not count yourself out at your own kitchen table. Now here's the part that trips people up, and it's important, so stay with me. A pod beneficiary generally overrides your will. Let that one settle. You might have a will. You might have paid a lawyer for it. You might think that will is the final word on where your money goes. But if your will says one thing, and your pod form says another, the pod wins. The form beats the will. So if your will says one thing and your pod says another, the pod wins. Do not count on your will to fix a form you never updated, which means the form is only as good as the last time you looked at it. Life changes. A divorce. A death. A new grandchild who wasn't even born when you filled it out. Every one of those is a reason to pull the form back out and check the name. And if you don't, let me show you how that goes wrong. Picture a man, I'll call him Harold. Years ago, Harold opened a savings account and named his son on the pod line. Good man, doing the right thing. Then life happened. Harold and that son had a falling out, the kind that lasts years, the kind where the phone stops ringing. Later, Harold remarried. He had a new wife who stood by him, cooked his meals, drove him to his appointments. In his heart, that money was hers. He never touched the form, never updated it. It sat in that drawer with one name on it, the son he no longer spoke to. Harold passed. And the money, it didn't go to the wife who cared for him. It went to the son on the form. Every penny. His will didn't matter. His feelings didn't matter. The form was old, and the form won. Harold didn't do anything evil. He just forgot to look. And forgetting to look cost the wrong outcome for the person he actually loved. So the lesson isn't only add the form, it's keep it current. The POD is powerful precisely because it's so strong. Strong enough to override a will means strong enough to override your good intentions if the name is wrong. Now, everything I've told you so far is why this form matters. The mechanism, the cousin, the trap, the cost, the override. That's the knowledge. But knowledge sitting in your head doesn't add a single beneficiary to a single account. What turns all of this into a done thing is walking up to that window and saying the right words. And there's one more thing you need to know before you go, because it's the difference between a form that works and a form that fails. There's a single mistake that can drop even a pod account right back into probate, right back behind that courthouse door. And the fix is one extra word you tell the teller. Next, the exact sentence to say at the window, that one word fix, and what the missing form truly cost Eleanor. Here's the trap almost nobody sees coming. You name one person, your daughter, your son, your brother, and you feel done. You sign the form, the money's protected, but life doesn't move in order. If the one person you named passes away before you do, and you never went back to fix it, that account has nobody left to catch it. And when there's nobody named, guess where it goes? Right back behind that same courthouse door. All that work, undone by a gap you never knew was there. So you fix it in one breath. You name a backup, the official word is contingent beneficiary. If your first choice is gone, the money flows straight to your second choice. No court, no waiting. You can name a primary and a backup on the very same form, same day, same signature. It costs nothing extra. Do it while you're standing there. Now let me give you the whole thing, the part I told you to stay for. The exact action and the exact words. You walk into your bank, or you pick up the phone and call the branch. And you say this, plain and simple. I want to add a payable on death beneficiary to my accounts. That's it. That one sentence opens the whole door. Say those words out loud once right now, so they're ready at the window. I want to add a payable on death beneficiary to my accounts. Feel how simple that is. It's not a legal battle. It's not a lawyer's office. It's a form in a drawer that they hand you when you ask, and they hand it to you because you asked, not because they offered. And here's the part that still gets me. The form is free. Completely free. There's no fee, no filing cost, no service charge. Banks do this every single day. The only reason it doesn't happen more often is that the form sits in that drawer and nobody walks it over to your kitchen table. When you go, bring two things. The beneficiary's full legal name spelled the way it is on their driver's license, not a nickname. And if they have it, their social security number. That's it. You fill in the primary, you fill in the backup, you sign it, and this matters. You keep a copy. Don't just hand it back and walk out empty-handed. Get a copy for your own records and put it somewhere the people you love can find it. Now let's add up what that free signature actually buys you. Think about what it stops. Probate in most states runs several months. Sometimes more than a year. That's a year your family can't reach the cash, a year of funeral bills, mortgage payments, and grocery money locked up tight. And the fees? Lawyer and court costs commonly eat 3 to 7% of the estate. On a modest $80,000, that's thousands of dollars real money gone to the process. Not to your kids, not to your grandkids, to the process. So weigh it. On one side, a year of frozen money and thousands in fees. On the other side, one free form and 30 seconds of your signature. That's the trade. That's the whole trade. I don't know a better deal anywhere in the world of money than that one. Which brings me back to Eleanor. Remember her? 71 years old, 3 weeks a widow, standing at the same teller window she and Frank had used for 30 years, being told to come back with court papers. Frank's money, with his name on it, locked away when she needed it most. Here's the quiet truth of it. If Frank had walked into that branch just once and signed the same free form I just described, Eleanor would have paid the funeral home that same afternoon. No court, no lawyer, no year of waiting. One form he never signed cost her months of frozen cash and thousands of dollars in fees on money that was always meant for her. He wasn't careless, he wasn't foolish, he simply didn't know the option existed. Nobody handed him the form. Nobody mailed it. Nobody whose job it was to hold that money ever picked up the phone to tell him. He didn't know. Now you do. So let's turn knowing into doing. Here is exactly what I want you to do this week. 4 steps. Write them down. 1. Sit at your kitchen table and list every account you own, every checking account, every savings account, every certificate of deposit. You can't protect what you haven't counted. 2. Call your bank or walk in and ask for the pod form by name. Use the words I gave you. Add a primary beneficiary and a backup. Sign it. Keep your copy. 3. Call your broker if you have investments, a brokerage account, mutual funds, and ask about a TOD. That's transfer on death, the cousin of the pod, and it does the exact same thing for those accounts. 4. Tell the person you named. Tell them the account exists and tell them where the papers are. A protection nobody can find is no protection at all. And one more thing before you go, because it matters just as much. There's a scam that shadows this exact move, and I need you to see it coming. Somewhere out there, a thief knows that seniors are learning about beneficiary forms. So the phone rings, bank security on the screen. A polite voice says they need to set up your beneficiary, and they just need your online login or your beneficiary's social security number to verify it. Listen to me closely. No one from your bank will ever call you out of the blue and ask for that. Ever. That is not how any of this works. The real form gets filled out by you, in person or on your own call to a number you dialed. So if that call comes, stop, hang up. You go to them, never the other way around. You are always the one who reaches out. The bank does not come to you. The good ones sit and wait for you to ask. One honest word before we close. This is general education, not legal advice. I read the fine print, I don't practice law, and rules vary from state to state. Some states let you put a transfer on death designation right on a house deed or a car title. Some don't. So confirm your own situation with your bank and a qualified professional before you sign. Your county, your accounts, your family, the details are yours to check. But the heart of it doesn't change no matter where you live. One free form, one signature. Your money skips probate and goes straight to the people you love. Eleanor learned that 3 weeks too late. Frank never got the chance. He didn't know the option existed. Now you do so, make sure someone you love does too. And that's the one favor I'll ask. Send this to one person you love over 65 because nobody official is going to call and explain it to them. You might be the only one who does. A daughter, a neighbor, an old friend who just lost her husband. Pass it on. If this helped you, subscribe and stay close. I read these rules so you don't have to, and there's always one more form sitting in a drawer with your family's name on it. Go sign yours this week. Take care of each other.